On Monday, December 30, 2024, I woke up from a dream. In this dream, I was at someone's house. Just a side note, this is a family that I met some years ago, and I have been to their house a few times. Who loves their home and delight in showing off the improvements, and the family has two kids. The kids and I are close in age. And the dream begins. This day there would be a celebration for the wife. It was either her birthday or Mother's Day. I wasn't sure. I'm aware that some money, about $150, was left on the counter by her husband for each of their kids and also myself to buy a gift for her. I saw the wife sitting in the living room eating Ben and Jerry's ice cream. She then expressed that it finished too quickly. I left the house to go on the road, but I forgot the money to purchase the gift. While on the road, I saw someone, and this person represents my best friend, who was upset with me. She accused me of using up her credit on her phone. Back in Jamaica, what they have is a credit system on the phone. So you put a certain amount of money on the phone, and once that money runs out, then that's it. You cannot make any more call until you tap up, you put some more money on it. So she was accusing me that I didn't hang up, and so the money ran out. I didn't think I did it, but after remembering that I did call the lady at some point in time, I decided to take responsibility, and I had $20 in my pocket. So I gave it to her and would owe her $10. It seemed I went back to the house to get the money that was supposed to buy the gift for the wife. And at this point, I was thinking about what gift to get for her. I thought to get a gift card so that, she could buy more Ben and Jerry ice cream. I saw one of her daughter outside, and I asked her about a plaza that I saw near the house, and she said that I should be careful of what I purchase in this plaza, and she used a particular word, but I don't remember what that word is. But what I understand, the items that are sold in this place are of a lesser quality. So I would imagine that their standard is very high, and they like high end and high quality things. And this place the items were of a lesser quality for them. I went into the building and I saw some people shopping, and they were very happy and excited about, their purchases. And I picked up some clothes. These belong to my aunt. She was buying some stuff, and I picked up some of the clothes that she was picking out, and I ran a steamer over one of the dress that she had, and it soiled the dress. And I put it down and left them. And she came, she picked up her stuff, and she saw that the dress was soiled, and she tried to find out what was happening. And she was told it's just the steamer that soiled the dress. I watched a group of ladies that were shopping, and they were so happy and excited about the things that they had purchased. And these items seemed like church items, like dresses and hats and bags, and I noticed that my aunt, she bought a bigger handbag, and she was putting some of the items into that big handbag that she had purchased, so like the smaller bags that she bought. And she was wearing a hat on her head, like a church hat that had like a net or a mesh, and the mesh she had, it came down to the back of her hair and covered her bun. And she was wearing a purple hat with the purple net. And she took off that hat off her head. She had purchased a new purple one, and she ripped the net off the old hat that she had, and she was going to replace the net with the new net from the new hat that she had bought. So she's not going to wear the new hat at that time, but she wanted the net off the new hat to put onto the old hat. And what I noticed was that the net on the new hat, it was purple, but it was a different shade of purple. But she didn't matter. She was just excited about, her purchases and what she had purchased. After that, I left and was making my way back to the house when I met the husband, who seemed to have come to get me. We met in an area where there was a stall. So on that stall, there was about two children there, and they were selling phone accessories. And he told me that I could get a phone case for his wife. And so we proceeded to get the phone case. I had $50, and the little girl said the phone case was $50. The husband said she could sell it for $40, but the child was a bit feisty and firm on her price. And so the husband, took out his phone out of his pocket, because apparently they had similar phones. So he was fitting the case on his phone to get the right size for his wife's phone. I noticed that it was the older type of phone, almost like the very first Nokia phone that they came out with. It was not as wide as that Nokia, but it was about the same length and same thickness. We took the case and went home. When we got to the house, they were upset because I took too long. The party started, and there was a lot of people. The wife was standing at the front of the room in front of a table, and the party was in like a hallway, so like a long hallway. And I saw some people in khaki colored outfits. And after looking carefully, I noticed that it was a family wearing the same color outfit, but the pattern on each outfit varied in style. They started to play music, and I don't know what type of music it was, but based on the dance that they were doing, I would presume that it was a secular music. They were doing just this kind of hand dance. They were happy, and they were dancing, and they were dancing with their hand and moving their feet. Some were standing and some were sitting, and they're just doing their thing, just dancing. And I was standing at the back of the room, and I was thinking to myself that I don't belong here. The husband also was to the back of the room, but towards the side of the room. There was this little boy who was a bit fussy, and he came up to me. At this point, I was sitting on a chair to the side of the room near the back, and the boy's mother instructed me to put the boy off to sleep. So I had him in my arms. After that, some children came, and like they wanted to get into my arms too, but the little boy was getting fussy again, like he just wanted all the attention to himself. So he cried out to his mom. Not sure what the mom said, but the other children left. So I was focused on putting the little boy to sleep. The next thing I can remember is that there were soldiers at the door. I didn't see them, They brought a pile of PJs, so like the shirts and the pants, and they were placed on the table for each person to take one. The wife said we could not eat the food because it was outside and the food was contaminated from the radiation. So there was radiation, and that's why the soldiers came and we had to change out of the clothes that we're wearing and we had to go to the basement. We got into the basement, which was huge. It looked like a well renovated basement. The walls were concrete that was not painted. So it was just the color of the concrete, but it was huge. The wife was flickering with a switch, trying to turn on something that looked like a heater or a generator or some power source. She said if she couldn't turn it on, then we would freeze. She eventually got it to work, and I went to sit beside her daughter, who was sitting high up across from the socket that she was charging her phone on. And so we all bunkered in that basement. Next, I was getting ready to leave. I remembered walking behind the husband because I wanted to tell him that I was going to leave at this point. I noticed that the people were seated and the room was set up as a church would set up, where you have bench on the left side, bench on the right side, and then an aisle for you to walk up. So the husband was walking up the aisle, the wife was standing at the front, and the people were seated on both sides. The husband had a cup in his hand. It was a large, clear cup that he was using to distribute soup. And so I remember them saying that if anyone that didn't get any soup as yet should raise their hand. I was aware that at this point they're about to eat the contaminated food, the food that we were told that we couldn't eat before. They're about to eat this food. So at this point of the dream, I saw myself back in that era where we were standing when the party was about to start near the entrance. And she was standing by that table with the PJs. And I told the wife that am about to leave. And she was telling me that she wanted to leave also because she wanted to see her dad. She was waiting for her daughter to come and to help her to bring the remaining PJs up the stairs up to where the rooms were to put them away. And so I proceeded to help her, and I picked up the clothes and I brought them upstairs. And when I got upstairs, I saw her daughter sitting on the top of the step looking down towards where her mom was, and she was in a state of rebelliousness. Like the look on her face was like she was just being rebellious, like she didn't want to do what she was asked to do, or she didn't want to go. I'm not sure, but she was in a state of rebelliousness. After this, I left and was in the car with my husband outside. He was talking about the soldiers. I did not see the soldiers, but I was aware that they were Chinese soldiers. They were there to make sure that, people did not leave. But my husband was saying he had to go to work. So they had to test him to check his radiation level. So he was explaining all of this to me. And he said he was about 42 something. I'm uncertain of the term that he used. And I asked, what does that mean? Is that high or is that low? And he said low. And that's where the dream ended. When I got up, I started to pray, to ask the Lord about this dream. What does this dream mean? Is this dream from you, or is it, just some nonsense? And I felt in my spirit, I felt like weeping, and I could not understand why. I was even telling the Lord that I felt like weeping. And at the end of praying, the Lord directed me to read Psalms 52. And after reading this, I understood why. And Psalms 52 says, "Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continually. The tongue deviseth mischief, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. The righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. I will praise thee forever because thou hast done it, and I will wait on thy name, for it is good before thy sins. The dream is symbolic. My husband and I have prayed about this dream. At first, we thought that because we live in Canada, why we were just seeing the radiation. But as we prayed, he's been allowing us to understand the dream. And so he's been fitting the pieces in like a puzzle piece. And so the wife in the dream represents the mother of harlots. The best friend represents the relationship between America and her best friend, whether it be Canada and other countries. The Ben and Jerry ice cream in the dream represents the abundance and the prosperity that this country, America, has been enjoying, and are just not satisfied and even thankful for what they have been blessed with. They want more. My aunt and the other ladies that I saw at the plaza shopping and were excited, this represents the church, which is soiled like that dress, defiled, made a merchandised of, while the word that you are receiving is of a lesser quality. There's no substance in what you are receiving, but yet you are rejoicing and you're happy with the mediocre messages that you are receiving. The party that represents the celebration of America, making America great again. But as soon as this party began, it came to an halt. This reminded us of the story of King Belshazzar, and this is found in the book of Daniel, chapter 5. His heart was lifted up with pride on that day that he was having a great feast, celebrating. He didn't humble himself before God. And so on that very same day, his kingdom was taken away and he was slain. May the Lord guide your heart as you listen to this dream, as you reflect upon it. I ask you to pray and ask the Lord to confirm in your heart what this means for you And I pray that if you have not yet surrendered your life to God, that you will take this moment to reflect and to ask, what if he should appear now? What if tomorrow is my day? Would you be ready to meet him? Would my soul be right to stand before him? And if your answer is no, I implore you to cry out to him and to ask him to save you and to have mercy upon you. So be warned, repent, turn from your sins, surrender to God. He's merciful. For God so loved the world that he sent his only Son to die that you might live. So accept this precious gift that he gave us. Accept Jesus Christ into your life. Accept the gift of salvation. God bless you.